Jesus, my lighting is terrible. Although the weather outside is not particularly helping, and I've only got the one light. Anyway, hi. I don't normally have videos like this to make, especially ones with my god-awful, disgusting, ugly face. But I kind of have to for this one. So, as the title implies, I recently got hit by a car. That was fun. I was, as if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I bicycle to and from work because I don't have a driver's license here in Japan. And the busing in the city I live in, is practically non-existent. The one bus that would be able to get me anywhere close to either of the two schools that I teach at would have me arriving to work nearly 2 hours late and would be finished with its service like 3 hours before I would need to leave. So and because I didn't have the time to try to go get a license before I actually started this job, I ended up buying a pretty nice little electric assist bicycle, and I was just kind of going from there. I'm recording this on the 10th of July, and the accident occurred on the 5th of July. What had happened was I was just cycling home as per usual, was coming up on the entryway to a trucking business, and just as I was getting into the driveway, little delivery van pulled out, went and sat kind of in the driveway, and I had at most maybe one or two seconds to decide basically either proceed as I was and assume he saw me, or slam my brakes, try to go around behind and hope that I don't scrape the side of the car. But before I could really make a decision, the next thing I knew, there was a loud thud. I screamed a pretty loud ow, and my right side hurt like hell. To the driver's credit, he flew out of his car in an apologetic panic, because you could tell, just looking at the guy, you could tell that he knew he messed up, and he at least wasn't. I was honestly expecting the guy, whoever it was that would have flown out of the car, to be a total douche about it and try to somehow claim that I was at fault, blah 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 blah. Fortunately as well, I was only knocked over. I did not go flying off of the bike. That would have sucked, especially because my dumbass was not wearing a helmet. And I was very fortunate to not hit my head, but after I eventually get my bike back from the repair shop, I'm going and buying a helmet, because I'm not risking that shit again. Ow. But, actually, at first, after I had initially got hit, I actually thought it was relatively fine. I thought all it was, that it just, spooked me more than anything. But we had to wait almost 30 minutes for the police to show up, and during that 30 minutes, the adrenaline started to wear off, and particularly my right shoulder, it really hurt. And I also was wearing a rain suit. Basically just a big ass rain jacket and some rain pants, because the weather was supposed to be rainy and shitty. So I had that on while I was cycling home, and I went to take off the rain suit, because standing there waiting for the police, I was starting to sweat to death in the damn thing. And when I was taking off the jacket, my shoulder, it rolled backwards, and I'm pretty damn sure that it came out of socket, which really fucking hurt. To the point where I immediately, it easily one of the most painful things I've ever had happen. And I ended up accidentally, I'm pretty sure I actually ended up popping it back in, because I went to clutch it, because of course it hurt. And I felt it roll back, and then I was able to actually move my arm again. So yeah, that was fun. And by the time the police arrived, I actually ended up asking them if they could call an ambulance, because it hurt so freaking bad. And at first they were a little confused, because when we initially called it in, we don't, we had said that we didn't think there was any injuries because at the time the adrenaline was still kicked in, and I thought I was fine. But as we waited and waited and waited, and the adrenaline wore off, it really started to hurt. So they called an ambulance in. I got taken to the hospital. They wound up doing a few x-rays and a couple other things on me. A lot of it at first was just like does this hurt? Does this hurt? Does this hurt? But then they actually x-rayed me, and then what they found was that my upper arm, which actually you can kind of see, I'll show you that in a minute, almost my whole upper arm, the ball of my shoulder, and then a bit of the top of my shoulder, the bone bruised very badly. Which actually I didn't know that bones could bruise, so that got to be my today I learned. But the doctor even outright told me, it's bad because those bones showed up as a charcoal blacky kind of color on the x-ray instead of your typical bone white. So what they did is, I was honestly expecting to walk out of there in a sling. I did not, however. But what they did was they gave me a prescription for some pretty strong painkiller and then an anti-inflammatory, and then they also gave me a bunch of these. I don't know how well you can see that. If you're an American, you probably know what icy hot patches are. It's essentially a stronger version of that lasts all day, and they're so nice. They're so nice to have. But then I actually didn't get this. There we go. I didn't get this until a couple days ago. Monday there was nothing. Tuesday there was nothing. Wednesday I had just a couple little spots, and then I woke up Thursday morning, and when I took off my shirt to go get in the shower, and I literally burst out laughing when I saw this, because my only thought was just, damn, that is gnarly. I spent the next even the entire time I was taking a shower, I was just laughing. But so far, other than a few bumps, bruises, and a couple little cuts, there's no other medical issues with me, and I'm pretty damn lucky. My bike was not so lucky. The front tire wound up getting mangled into oblivion, and one of the pedals got bent, but I couldn't find any damage other than that, because I was especially worried that there would be damage to the frame, and as well, because I was the one who was hit, and the other person was the one to be deemed at fault. I ended up being put in contact with his insurance company, who actually, when they sent their rep to talk to me, they intentionally sent their rep that had the best English capability, even though I can speak a pretty good bit of Japanese. Which, by the way, being able to speak Japanese to the police officers and then the guys in the ambulance to pick me up, as well as the doctor at the hospital, that definitely helped a lot, because I was able to answer all their questions and whatnot. I was able to give them whatever information they needed. The only thing that I kind of struggled with was at the hospital. There was some of the more medical type terminology. I didn't know the Japanese for it. Like I didn't know how to say, I'm pretty sure I dislocated my shoulder, so I had to pull up my phone, Google Translate it. But the insurance company that I've been talking to has been pretty good about trying to help me out and whatnot. They actually even ended up, because I have no way to get to work otherwise now, because I'm not going to be getting my bike back for at least probably another 2 weeks. They actually hired a taxi service to come get me from my apartment and then get me from the schools that I teach at every day until the summer break starts in about a week and a half. Which I was not expecting, but I'm certainly not going to complain. And as well, the company that I actually worked for has been really helping me out a lot. They actually step in, and they've been the ones doing the majority of the talking with the insurance company, which has been an absolute godsend, because I honestly don't know if I'd be able to navigate some of that kind of paperwork and stuff myself. So I'm definitely very lucky to have them step in for me like that, which they by no means have to do, but I'm definitely very appreciative of it. I'd probably be pretty screwed without that. So, but part of the reason why I'm making this as a video is because I was actually making noise on my Twitter and whatnot lately, how I wanted to try to have a more consistent upload schedule and actually do, my hobby, this, and then here I go and get hit by a car. So obviously I'm going to be a little slower with that, mostly just as at least this time though, I don't have the, my excuse isn't just I got lazy. My excuse is I have to, recover fully, and then I also have to deal with, all the any paperwork and stuff and blah da da da. So at least this time I have a more valid excuse, I guess. Ow. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't laugh too hard then, I guess, because apparently I'm still pretty sore. Anyway, yeah, so I'm still gonna try to make some stuff, but, and I know that I'm not, a particularly big channel or anything. I know I'm not well known. I know I'm not, I know, most people who see this video probably aren't gonna give a shit, but hey, I figure even though this is just a hobby for me, I still feel like I owe it to, the few people that do watch, my stuff to at least, let them know, hey, you can expect things to potentially be a little slower because, I kind of had something happen. So, yeah, I guess, I'll probably be keeping updates more on my Twitter than here because I tend to be more active there. So if you're not following it and you want to, go ahead. Happy to see you there. I tend to be pretty, I try to be responsive to most people, so. Ow. Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and end this before I end up hurting myself.